Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And today is part 2 of the Demon Lord Lumi event. We've already cleared it with a couple teams now, the Glue Eatery teams. We're going to get a little Glue Eatery today, too. But I do want to lead off with the fact that Rainbow Orbs do cover all the orb-changing missions. There's only buy the limited, ungrindable things out of the shop for this event, so shards, platinum, and gold hammers to an extent. The EX rocks, the tower potions, and the rainbow rocks, those are the most difficult things to come by, so those are the things you should focus this currency on from all the missions. Everything else is really up to you. I don't really recommend it. And also, like, the missions to get this cleared, there's like, do it up to 100 times. Does not matter what difficulty you do. So you could do it 100 times on the most basic quest difficulty, and you would still get those 10 bitch tickets, and you'd still get currency for the shop. But with that said, let's go ahead and dive into the first team for Inferno. Alright, first team up is the Idol team. If you can't die, then you will win eventually. The same one runs with Vengeance, and the same definitely runs with the Idol team, because you take even less damage, probably. So we've got Idol Rimuru, we've got free-to-play Tsubasa, Shizuka, Shuna, Mirai, we've got all of the Idols, and then we've got Isis for the turn 1 orb change and the green buff. Again, we're running Lumi and Soe for the extra skill points on turn 1, so we can use both Isis skills and then start out looking really good. And, you know, between the attack buff, since Lumi is AoE, she's going to buff Tsubasa by a lot very quickly. So we can get her 60% attack buff maxed out, I think, within like 3 turns or something. And then because this isn't Jubilee, we can just use the synergy and the attack buff free and easy when we want to, and then, you know, wait a couple turns and use it again. So this run is pretty brain dead. You know, as long as you don't leave Isis up front the entire time, you legitimately cannot die. You have to bring her in for like a couple turns, or like use her green buff at least twice or something over the course of this fight, just to make sure you can properly cycle Rimuru and always have the invincibility up. So like, we're gonna leave her up front here just to lower her cost down a bit. But now that we're gonna ult, we're just gonna get her out of here. So we'll swap her out. We have both live modes. Again, the Shizuka buff does not. The weakness buff doesn't actually do anything except heal us, because no one has type advantage, so the weakness buff doesn't matter. But we do have 2 separate live modes to use, which means that we can pretty much always and consistently have like a 10 or 12% attack buff going on, alongside the stacking magic attack from Rimuru. So boom, invincible. Howdy doody. Alright, follow-up hit. Don't care. You know, we're going to live mode again. We're going to swap the ult out for Mirai. This will get us her EX ult. And then, I think not this turn, but the next turn, turn 4, is another ult from Lumi. So that's the whole 60% attack buff from Tsubasa right there. And, you know, as long as we have points, we can use both Shuna's buff and Tsubasa's buff and do a butt ton of damage very quickly, and then just build it back up and then do it again. So, yeah, here we go. Here's the ult coming in. We still only have 2 ults, and this perfect. I like this right here. So we'll take Tsubasa out of here. Not Tsubasa, Shizuka out. So we'll use the live mode, and then get her out of here for Isis. We'll use the green buff, and then we'll go ahead and swap this ult out. And this will get us Shuna's EX ult as well. So the next turn, we're going to have 2 single-target EX ults. We're going to have Tsubasa up front to buff our 2 single targets. And then Tsubasa can come in, and she can ult first and lower the magic resistance. So this actually worked out very well for us. 19,000 damage right there, looking pretty good. Can't take damage, so 100 points. We'll use the Tsubasa buff first, 60%, and then we'll bring Shizuka in, and then we'll use the synergy buff, and then we'll use Rimuru again just to get another stack on. And then ult, and then follow up with the 200% Mirai orb. So 44k, not great, but I don't care. 187, decent. And Mirai does 237. That's pretty good damage right there for turn 5 with the idols. Type neutral as well. So we're looking pretty good. We're going to get this done before the turn 8 mission. Definitely before the turn 12 mission. and it was like this required no skill. No one is damaged. Everyone's at full HP. We've got points to spare. We've got protection gauge to spare. We've got more ults coming in, and I'm pretty sure next turn we just nuke with the 2 ults and we call it a day, because we're going to have the synergy reset, and we'll have enough for the attack buff again. So I don't even think we would need to use the synergy, the attack buff. Actually, no, it's not, because we didn't leave her in the turn. Oh well, synergy buff, fine. Get another stack in. We'll get a little bit of extra attack from the live mode, more Rimuru stacks, and this fight's over. So there you go. The idle team still showing out. Limited. You'll never see this team again in summons unless they somehow rerun it, which I highly doubt. But if you happen to have it, then it's a very, very easy cheese throughout the game. So let's move on to something else. Alright, next up we have the Fount of Wisdom team with Coleus Rimuru and Blanc. If you don't have Coleus Rimuru or Blanc, substitutions would probably be like Octogram Lumi. You could put training on here to try and alt rush Hinata and give her a little bit extra buff, because she does have the wind attack on. You just bring some orb changers, like Geld is here, Water Rimuru is here. You just bring a bunch of them. I mean, it's really doable. Raphael, alt resistance down. We're already getting the Pierce from Albus, but alt resistance down is a very powerful debuff that you can put on here. Or you could bring even physical, Warrior's Mind Xion. She's giving crits, so you could bring her, and you could bring... let's see, can anyone here give crit rate, actually? Do we have... I don't think Milim is here, huh? And the hero isn't either. Alright, so maybe not Xion, then, now that we're thinking about it. Well... Anniversary Reamer is here. He gives everybody crit. Dark units get crit damage, so I mean, you could bring him and Xion, potentially. But let's go ahead and just jump in with this team. Alright, so once again, we don't have an orb changer for turn 1. Not that it's too big of a deal. We can go ahead and just run it like this. Let's bring actually you in for... you got Trainee, you are turn 2, you have Lumi. No, we can just leave it like this then. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna look for the nuke with Hinata, since she has her personal alt buff. She will be our strongest unit. Okay, we can do that. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, game. I get rid of 4 greens and I get 4 greens. It's really what we're going for here. We'll just send it again. We'll have enough points next turn to do a couple orb changes. No healing here. So again, Diablo, not the most powerful stacking protector. He was the first EX protector in the game. So his limitations are evident, is what I would say. Let's go ahead and use the Hinata orb change, and let's actually... Should we get Coleus Rimuru in here now? Or should we just wait? How much gauge do we get here for this? Let's do the stack. First off, yeah, if you put like a heal charm on Diablo, I think that would work out a little better, since this team doesn't even have the minor heal that Lumi gives. With the traits, we're going to get that little extra bit. So you know what, let's not use Coleus Rimuru yet, let's just send the blues and call it a day. And then next turn, I think we'll use Coleus Rimuru, because we'll be starting over from scratch. Yeah, okay, that's perfect right there, actually. So, boom, double stack right there. So Diablo is lowering ult resistance and also increasing our cap and the skill points that we gain on blues, as is a traditional blue stacking protector. But he only raises our cap by 30 each time instead of 40, or even 50 like Coleus Lumi does, which is unfortunate, is how we'll put that. So... Blanc has the most orbs, Albus has 1, so you know what, let's just go ahead and do... Rimuru comes in for his orb change, boom, and then Coleus Rimuru will come in. We'll use Hinata's orb change again, and then we'll turn them all to rainbows. And because we brought Blanc, we have the capability of, swapping out 3 alts, which is just, that's why Blanc is so good for any blue team. Like, even if you can't really benefit off the synergy, most of the time you can benefit off the weakness strike. Unlike here, you can't. We're not getting actually anything from her here because we're neither getting synergy or weakness strike on type neutral. But it just makes things run so much more efficiently having her and being able to swap these out instead of having to play around and all that. It just makes it's so nice. Blanc is such a good unit. Alright, so orb change, we'll use the alt swap. We'll get well, Reamer doesn't even have any orbs, so I think we'll get him out anyways, because he needs to exist in the back for potential orb changes in the future. And this gets us a Blanc EX alt. We're getting very close to a Hinata EX alt. We're looking pretty good. I think between the two... Well, no. Actually, I want an alt for somebody else. Let's see. Blanc is not going to get the physical buffs, right? So, Hinata's attack buff is specific, right? Yeah, Fount of... Okay, so... Blanc will get the attack buff. She will get the pierce. She will not get the physical buff, though, from Rimuru, which does cut our damage potential down quite a bit. So I guess we alt swap and Hinata convert again. But we also kind of have to get Blanc out of here now, because she's a little low. I don't want her taking that alt. And I just want to leave Hinata in one more turn, because we have her EX alt here now. Maximum points, 280. So we have enough to use 3 of the buffs that matter. Like Blanc, yeah, you're not using Blanc's buff here, because, again, you're not benefiting at all from it. But we can nuke with her at minimum. So the fact that we have physical Reamer up front means that we don't have to worry about that. He doesn't have an orb, though. That is an issue, isn't it? Huh. Alright, well, we're gonna have to push one more turn, then. Let's see. So we'll do... Alright, here's what we're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. Boom. Boom. Alright. And then Coleus Rimuru will come in for Hinata, and he'll be able to convert that 1 orange, and that'll leave us with plenty of points. Boom. Off this end. Plus we get Albus's ult, which is nice. And 2 more stacks of Diablo, which is really going to help our damage out. So turn 8, I mean the mission is turn 9 and turn 11, I think, or turn 12, somewhere around there. Okay, Physical Rimuru again, doesn't have an orb. Why are you allergic to orbs, huh? Okay, well... What do I do? Do I just attempt... How much health does she have left here? 758k. We're gonna have 1 alt and an EX alt. Okay, he's not alting again. Fine, we'll do this. Boom, you can come in. We'll do this. We'll have an alt for Coleus Rimuru then. Or not an alt, but an orb. And then we'll have an orb for Hinata. Fine. Here we go. Alright, we made it work. It wasn't pretty, and it's 2 turns later than what we should have done, but whatever. Still turn 9. So we'll bring Fount of Wisdom Rimuru in. We'll use the physical buff on these 2 ladies. And then we'll bring Blanc in. And we can apply the pierce and the attack buff. There we go. And then we'll put the 2 extra stacks of Diablo on. And then this Lumi should be dead. Well, that was just frustrating. That was 2 turns of no Fount of Wisdom Rimuru orbs. What kind of RNG is that? Alright, so we'll send Albus, Blanc, Hinata, and then Blanc. Albus does 290. Okay. Blanc does 214, and Hinata will do more. 590, yeah, because she's got the personal alt buff as well. Alright, there we go. There was the Fount of Wisdom team. Pretty straightforward, unless RNG fucks you. Let's move on. Alright, next we're going to take a step back in time to the Water 2.0 team. Hinata, Shuna, Shion, Rimuru, Milim, and hopefully you've all picked up Light Raphael from the New Year's Selector ticket. Unless you're watching this video late, in which case I'm sorry. But he was free, so let's move on. Or let's get started, not move on. Okay, so I'm going to lead with the caveat, and that is that unless this team is like level 100s, you're probably not going to be able to do this because none of them are EX characters, which means that none of them have like super good stats. They don't have EX alts. This is a very old team. This was summer 2 years ago, right? And obviously it's going to age out and it's not going to go so well. But you can make it work and you can use all of the units from this meta. So I get lucky here. Like, obviously, like, Raphael's 120, Shuna is 100, Hinata's 100, my Shion is 120. And I do get pretty good luck here, but, like, Raphael's already down to half health almost. Like, a lot of them are. So, like, that's not good. We're only on turn 3. So this is not going, super duper smooth. But we do end up doing just enough damage by the end of it to actually take out Lumi. Which, is that good? Like, yes, very much so. We beat the mission. Is this a viable team for a lot of people? Probably not, because if you're level 80s Hinatas and Shunas and stuff, and your gear isn't like tippity top like mine is, you're probably not going to live. And I'm just going to be straight up with you. You're probably not going to win this fight. So it's better off trying to use one of the newer, better teams to do this. But, I mean, this is like bottom of the barrel scratching, because you can't. A lot of the teams that I would want to use here, I don't have access to all of them. Like, there are no Millims that I can use, so I can't bring like the summer team. I can't really bring the Dark 2.0 team, and so we're stuck with just kind of a hodgepodge of units. And while there is a good pool to pull from, it is still limited, because if you don't have the specific units, then you're kind of AWOL, or SOL. Sorry, not AWOL. But like turn 5, Shuna's almost dead. Like, she can't take another hit probably. So she needs to go. 1, because she already has her ult, and 2, she just needs to go. But we're relying on Shuna and Hinata as our primary damage dealers, because they're both single targets. We have a decent amount of buffs here, right? We're going to have guaranteed crit, we're going to have guaranteed pierce, ult resistance down, water attack, ult damage, water resistance down, crit damage, and attack with Hinata. If you happen to get like a couple stacks of Hinata's secondary buff skill, that is an extra 5% damage here and there. I don't know why I left Shuna in. Thankfully she didn't get hit. But now we have the Hinata and Shuna ult. Now they need to go. They need to leave very quickly. So Shuna orb change, swap them both out. Raphael doesn't have a lot of health either. I'm gonna pray that Hinata can tank this. Pray. And thankfully she does, by the skin of her teeth. There we go. So we have 300 points. We're on turn 7. We have the 2 ults. Are we gonna nuke here? No, we're gonna hold it. So we're gonna use 1 stack Hinata, so that's an extra 5% ult damage on top of whatever Shuna's gonna give us. And it can go up to like 60%, I think, but that, I have to use that a lot, and we don't have those points. So we're just going to try and work on getting a Shion ult, just because it's extra damage. So there we go. And now it's turn 8. We're ready to nuke. We have enough points to do everything. Raphael, we will buff Hinata with this. Oh, no, we're going to send it. Okay. Oh, right, because we don't have a Reamer Orb. That's why. Okay, there we go. We had to wait one more turn, so it was unfortunate. We would have nuked last turn if we had a Water Reamer Orb, but we didn't. So Hinata will come in first, that way we can give the Pierce rate to her as well, because she's our primary dealer. And then we'll take Raphael out, bring Shuna in, use all of the other buffs, plus another stack of Hinata, so that's extra 10% ult damage now. And then we'll get 1 more stack of Millim on this. Or 2, actually. And that is just enough to clear this fight. Just barely enough. And maybe we could have used a few more stacks of Hinata here and there. I don't know. But Shion does 148. Okay. Shuna doesn't have the Pierce, but she still does 220. And then Hinata does 365. So even the ults were not enough to kill. We have to rely on the follow-up orbs. Thankfully, Shion does have both crit and Pierce, so they did the most damage. But Like, that's pretty rough using this teams. Unless they're, like, maxed out and juiced up, this ain't gonna work for everybody. But those are the other 3 teams that you can use to clear this. I'm sure there are other hodgepodge teams that you can put together that may have some success. But again, like, you don't have to beat Inferno. Like, it's nice to get the Platinum Hammers, but if you just want to beat the missions and grind the black crystal currency, you can do that on a lower difficulty stage, and it doesn't really make all that much of a difference. But if you have other teams, please put them in the comments. That's it for me, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.